Angela hurried along the dusty road that morning, gripping a small brown envelope close to her chest. Inside it were her documents, her only hope for the day. She was on her way to a house help interview, silently praying she would be selected. Everything depended on it. Her mother was ill, rent was overdue, and this job felt like their last chance. As she approached the bus stop, her eyes caught sight of an elderly man sitting near the roadside. His clothes were torn and faded, his body thin and trembling. Slowly, he raised his head and spoke in a weak voice, "My daughter, please help me. I haven't eaten since yesterday. Even a little food or money would help." Angela paused. Her chest tightened as she searched her purse again. One crumpled note stared back at her, the exact amount meant for her transport. Without it, she would have to walk for over half an hour under the scorching sun and risk arriving late. She swallowed hard and whispered, "Papa, I wish I could help, but this is my transport money. I'm going for a job interview." Turning away, she took a few steps forward, but her heart felt unbearably heavy. Guilt tugged at her with every step. She stopped. Something deep within her refused to let her continue. Angela turned back, walked toward the old man, and gently placed the money into his shaking hands. "Papa, take it," she said softly. She placed the money firmly into his open palm. "This is all I have," Angela said softly, "but I'm giving it with a willing heart. I'll walk instead. I've trekked longer distances before, I'll be fine." The old man looked at her in disbelief. His eyes widened as he tried to push her hand back. "No, my daughter," he said gently. "You need this more than I do. Please, take it back." Angela shook her head and smiled. "Papa, please let me help you today. Hunger is not easy. God will help me reach my interview." Tears gathered in the old man's eyes. "You are a special child," he whispered. "Many pass by me every day, but none stop. May God direct your steps. May favor speak your name today. You will not walk in vain. What you seek, you will surely find." Warmth spread through Angela's chest. She bowed slightly in respect. "Thank you, Papa." As she walked away, beginning her long journey on foot, she felt no bitterness, only peace. Her legs were tired, but her heart felt light. Under her breath, she prayed, "God, please let me get this job." By the time Angela arrived at the large compound, sweat covered her face and her body ached from the long walk. She walked up to the gate and knocked gently. The door opened, and a young woman with a sharp expression stood there. "Who are you?" she asked coldly. I'm Angela," she replied nervously. "I came for the house help interview." "The house help interview," Angela added quietly. Mabel hissed in annoyance. "We don't need you here. You're late, very late." Angela clasped her hands together. "Ma, I'm really sorry. There was heavy traffic." "That's not my problem," Mabel cut in sharply. "You should have left your house earlier." Her eyes moved over Angela with clear disgust. "Look at you. So slow, and your clothes, dirty. I don't want someone like you working in my home." Angela felt her throat tighten, but she forced herself to speak. "Please, Ma. Just give me one chance." Mabel stepped closer, her voice low and hostile. "Chance for what? You even look like the type that chases other people's husbands. I don't want you anywhere near my man." Angela shook her head quickly. "Ma, please. Get out." Mabel snapped. "Don't ever step into this compound again." Before Angela could say another word, the door was slammed shut in her face. Moments later, Mabel pushed her out completely and locked the gate. Angela walked away slowly, her heart trembling. Tears blurred her vision as she tried to steady herself. Just then, a car drove into the compound. A tall man stepped out and noticed the young woman walking away with slumped shoulders. He turned to Mabel. Who was that girl? Mabel rolled her eyes dramatically. Oh, her. Can you imagine, she came for the interview very late. Jeff frowned slightly. I mean, how slow can someone be? Mabel continued. I sent her away immediately. And she looked so dirty too. Jeff's brows knitted together. Is that really why you chased her out? Chasing her out like that wasn't kind, Mabel, Jeff said firmly. You could have handled it better. We actually need help in this house. You've sent almost everyone away. Mabel folded her arms and frowned. So? I don't want dirty girls hanging around you. Jeff sighed and shook his head. What I want is someone who will actually work here. All you do is make calls, scroll your phone, or watch movies. This house needs real help. Mabel turned her face away, clearly upset, but Jeff's mind was no longer on her. He kept seeing the image of the young woman walking out of the compound, her shoulders low, her steps heavy. Meanwhile, Angela walked slowly along the dusty road, wiping tears from her cheeks. Her legs ached from the long trek, but the pain in her heart felt worse. Just as she turned the corner, she stopped. Under the same small tree by the roadside, Papa James was still seated. He looked up immediately when he saw her. My child, you're back already, he said with concern. How did the interview go? Angela tried to smile, but her lips trembled. Papa, her voice broke. They chased me away. The woman said I was dirty and late. She didn't even allow me to explain. Papa James sighed softly and shook his head. Don't cry, my daughter, he said gently. Some doors close because they were never meant for you. Angela lowered her head as he continued, you did well today. Kindness never goes unseen. What you gave this morning was not just money, it was your heart. Your heart is pure. Angela lowered her gaze. I truly needed that job, Papa. Papa James gently placed his hand over hers. You will find something better. God never overlooks a kind heart. He smiled softly. Didn't I tell you earlier? Your steps are blessed. Good news is already on its way. Angela wiped her tears and nodded faintly. I pray so, Papa. He shook his head with calm certainty. Not prayer alone, my child, faith. Believe it. Your life is about to change. Though she didn't understand why, his words filled her with renewed strength. Angela thanked him quietly and continued her walk home. When she reached their small house, she pushed the wooden door open gently. Her mother lay weakly on the narrow bed. At the sound of the door, she struggled to sit up. My daughter, you're back so soon, her mother said softly. How did it go? Angela placed her envelope aside and sat beside her. Mama, they didn't accept me. The woman sent me away. She said I looked dirty and slow. Her mother's face tightened with worry. Oh no. Angela, what will we do now? She whispered. My medicines will finish soon. I was counting on this job so we could buy more. Angela held her mother's hands firmly, forcing a gentle smile. Mama, please don't worry, she said with quiet strength. God will make a way. We'll provide. I'll find another job. I won't give up. Her mother released a tired sigh. My child, you struggle so much for me. Sometimes I feel like I'm holding you back. Angela shook her head firmly. Mama, please never say that. You are my blessing, not my burden. I will keep searching. Even if I have to walk to 10 places in one day, I will do it. Her mother wiped a tear from her cheek. May God strengthen you, my daughter. Angela smiled gently. He will, Mama. I can feel it. Something good is coming. 2 days passed, and Angela was still moving from street to street, asking for any small job she could find. Her feet ached, and her body was exhausted, but she refused to stop. As she turned a corner near a small kiosk, she suddenly froze. Papa James was sitting quietly on a stone nearby. "Papa," she called out in surprise. "I didn't expect to see you here. Where do you stay?" Papa James smiled calmly. "My child, I sleep in the small store behind that big shop over there. The owner allows me to stay inside at night after closing." Angela's heart sank. "Oh, Papa, you sleep on the bare floor," she said sadly. "I wish I could help you get a better place." She hesitated, then spoke again, her voice gentle. "Papa, would you like to come and stay with us for a while? Would you like to come to my house?" "I stay with my mother," Angela asked gently. Papa James shook his head. "No, my child. You've already done more than enough. Don't trouble yourself. I am fine." Angela studied him closely. "Papa, have you eaten anything today?" A faint smile touched his lips, though it didn't reach his eyes. "No, my child." Without hesitation, Angela stood up. "Okay, Papa. I'll go home and get you some food. I'll be back quickly." He raised a hand to stop her softly. "But you said you're out looking for work today." "Don't worry about me. I can manage." Angela shook her head firmly. "Papa, please. Let me help you." He drew in a slow, deep breath. "All right, my child, but first, give me your phone number before you go." Angela blinked in surprise. "Papa, I'll be back soon. I can give it to you then." "No, my daughter," he said, shaking his head gently. "I need it now. You never know when it might be needed." Quickly, Angela dug into her small bag and pulled out a folded piece of paper. "Here, Papa. I wrote my number down earlier. I always carry it just in case someone calls me for work." Papa James' face softened into a warm smile. "You think ahead. Good child." Angela pointed toward the path ahead. "Papa, please wait right here for me. Don't go anywhere. My house isn't far." Angela ran all the way home, her heart pounding. She quickly packed some food and hurried back to the same spot, but the old man was gone. She spun around, her eyes searching frantically. "Papa James," she called, her voice trembling. Panicked, she ran to a woman selling vegetables nearby. "Mama, please, did you see the old man who was sitting here?" The woman nodded gently. "Yes, my dear. A car came just a few minutes after you left, a big car. They picked him up and drove away." Angela froze. "A car, for Papa?" The woman continued, "Yes, and the people in the car looked very important." Angela's legs went weak. She stood there, stunned and speechless, her mind racing. Nothing made sense. "Oh Lord, please, don't let anything bad happen to Papa James," she whispered. Meanwhile, Jeff helped his father slowly into the house. Papa James moved with deliberate caution, his feet dragging lightly over the polished floor. His eyes looked weary and confused, as though he was trying to grasp where he had been taken. "Papa, please sit down," Jeff said softly, guiding him toward the long sofa. "You need to rest." Papa James lowered himself onto the couch, pressing one hand to his forehead. His gaze swept across the grand living room, as if trying to comprehend everything around him, the furniture, the light, the unfamiliar space. Papa James looked around the grand room for the first time, his voice weak. Where did you find me?" Jeff exhaled slowly, trying to steady his trembling hands. "Papa, thank God I found you. I searched everywhere. Someone in the neighborhood saw you walking alone and called me. The moment I heard, I came straight here." Papa James rubbed his temples gently. I don't remember leaving the house." Jeff swallowed hard, his throat tight. "You wandered out again, your memory, Papa. You forgot where you were." Papa James let out a tired sigh. "My head, it betrays me sometimes. I'm sorry, my son. Jeff squeezed his father's hand warmly. Papa, it's not your fault. The important thing is that you're safe. Anything could have happened to you out there. Papa James gazed at him quietly, shame and confusion mixing in his weary eyes. I didn't want to worry you, he murmured. You didn't, but you scared me, Jeff said, his voice tight with relief. He stood slowly, still trembling from the fear of losing his father again. His eyes kept darting toward the door, the corridor, every corner of the house, thinking, how could this happen inside my own home? There was only one explanation, Mabel. She had been in. She had been the only one at home. She knew Papa James' condition. She knew he shouldn't be left alone. And yet, she had let him wander into the street as if he were abandoned. Jeff's jaw tightened. He turned from his father and walked down the long corridor, his footsteps echoing sharply against the polished floors. The anger inside him grew with every step, burning hotter as he approached the second living room. Even before he reached the door, he could hear it, Mabel's laughter. Light, carefree, as if the world around her didn't exist, as if no elderly man with memory issues had just been allowed to roam into danger under her watch. Jeff pushed the door open. Mabel was lounging on the long cream sofa, legs crossed, absorbed in something funny on her phone. She looked relaxed, completely at ease. Jeff paused, watching her in disbelief. She didn't even notice the chaos her actions had caused. Jeff, she said softly. Oh, no, that was her voice. Actually, she didn't speak. She was completely focused on her screen. Mabel, Jeff said in a low, sharp tone, his voice like steel. She didn't look up. Mabel, he repeated, louder this time. Finally, she glanced at him casually, one eyebrow raised. What is it? Don't, Jeff began, his voice trembling with anger, but controlled. Ever leave my father like that again. Do you understand? Don't disturb me, Jeff, Mabel said without looking up, her eyes glued to the phone. This video is hilarious. Jeff stepped closer, his voice tight with anger. Are you serious right now? Mabel finally paused the video, a little annoyed. Oh. What is it? Why are you staring at me like that? Did something happen? Jeff blinked in disbelief. Did something happen? That's your response. Yes, she snapped, clearly irritated. Why are you so angry? If you want to talk, just say it. Jeff's chest heaved with frustration. My father went missing today. Mabel blinked once, then shrugged casually. Okay, and? Jeff felt his control slipping. And Mabel, he has memory problems. He forgets things. If he's not watched, he wanders off. You know that. Mabel frowned slightly. Jeff is not a child. I can't follow him around everywhere. If he walked out, that was his choice. Jeff took another step forward, his voice rising. His choice. Do you really think a man with memory issues chooses to walk into the streets alone? He doesn't even remember leaving the house. She leaned back lazily. Well, he's back now, isn't he? So, relax. Jeff's eyes narrowed, disbelief and fury mixed in his gaze. Relax. You think I can just relax after he could have been hurt, or worse, because you couldn't take responsibility? Relax. Jeff's voice trembled with anger. Do you even realize what could have happened? He could have been hit by a car, kidnapped, collapsed somewhere. He could have died. Mabel rolled her eyes dismissively. You're overreacting, Jeff. Nothing happened. Someone recognized him and called me. He's fine. Jeff's voice rose sharply. Not because of you. You didn't even notice he was gone. Mabel hissed, irritated. Jeff, please, don't start shouting. You're stressing me. I was tired today. I needed to rest. Rest. Jeff laughed bitterly, his tone cutting. Rest from what? From staring at your phone. From gossiping. From doing absolutely nothing all day. Mabel snapped to her feet. Jeff. Don't raise your voice at me. I am your fiancé, not your maid. And what exactly do you do as my fiancé? Jeff shot back, his fury rising. You don't cook. You don't clean. You don't help my father. You don't even check on him. You sit here from morning till night, glued to your phone, watching videos, gossiping. You've chased away every maid we've hired. Mabel scoffed, flipping her hair. Those girls were useless. They were too slow. I can't tolerate lazy people. Jeff's voice was low, calm, but every word carried a dangerous edge. You insulted them. You accused them. You scared them. You made this house unbearable until every single one of them left. Mabel snapped her fingers dismissively. So what? If they couldn't handle it, that's their problem. Problem? Jeff's voice trembled with barely restrained anger. This isn't a workplace. This is supposed to be a home. Mabel folded her arms, unconcerned. Look, Jeff, I don't have the energy for all this. If you want someone to care for your father, hire a nurse. Hire a maid. Hire 20 if you like. I just want peace. Jeff's eyes narrowed, cold disbelief cutting through his words. Peace. You want peace. Mabel, you are the one destroying the peace in this house. There's no calm here because of your attitude. She scoffed loudly, flipping her hair. Now it's my attitude. Jeff, you love drama too much. His voice dropped, low and steady, a quiet that hinted at danger. Quiet, listen carefully. You are lucky nothing happened to my father today. You are lucky he was found safe and alive. Mabel's irritation flared. Jeff, don't. Enough. Mabel snapped, waving her hand dismissively. I said he's fine. You're making a mountain out of a molehill. Jeff shook his head slowly, his eyes cold. You still don't understand. You don't see anything wrong with what happened. Mabel picked up her phone again, scrolling lazily. Jeff, please. I'm tired. If you want a maid, go hire one. I'm sick of this same argument every day. Jeff stepped back and stared at her as if seeing her for the first time. Her selfishness, her coldness, her pride, the complete lack of care for anyone but herself. Something inside him cracked. Mabel, he said quietly, his voice low but firm, I'm beginning to question this relationship. Her eyes widened in shock. What? I said, Jeff repeated slowly, I'm beginning to question this relationship. I'm asking myself if I want to spend my life with someone who doesn't care about my father, who doesn't care about this home, who doesn't care about anyone but herself. Mabel scoffed, her voice sharp. So, because of my father, you want to break up with me? Jeff's tone was calm, cutting through her arrogance. No. Because of your heart, or rather, the absence of it. Mabel's pride faltered. She gulped, but her stubbornness still lingered. Mabel refused to let her fear show. Jeff, don't use threats on me. If you want to leave, then leave. Jeff shook his head slowly. You don't understand. I'm not threatening you. I'm speaking the truth. I can't keep living like this. Mabel turned her face away dismissively. Whatever, you talk too much. Jeff didn't respond. He simply turned and walked away, leaving her standing alone in the room, silence filling the space behind him. A few days later, Jeff leaned against his car outside a pharmacy, looking exhausted and tense. He had come to pick up medication for his father, whose health had been weakening again. His phone buzzed. He glanced at the screen, it was his friend, Luke. Hello, Luke, Jeff answered. Luke's voice was upbeat, almost teasing. Hey man, are you ready for the training abroad? 2 whole months, exciting, right? Jeff exhaled heavily, rubbing his forehead. Oh, that's the problem, Luke. I'm not ready. The company says I must go for 2 months, no excuses. There was silence on the other end for a moment, then Luke asked cautiously, and your father? Who's going to take care of him while you're gone? That's exactly what I'm worried about, Jeff said, his voice tight with frustration. Mabel can't take care of him. She doesn't even try. And I don't have a single maid in the house. All of them left because of her attitude. Luke licked his tongue in concern. This is serious. You don't understand, Jeff continued. My father can wander out of the house if no one is watching. 2 months is too long. I don't even feel safe leaving him alone for 2 hours. How am I supposed to travel tomorrow like this? I wish I could find a maid today. Luke let out a long sigh. Well, you'd better start praying for a miracle. Jeff let out a bitter laugh. Miracle. Miracles don't happen every day. They talked for a few more minutes before Jeff ended the call, lost in thought. Just then, Angela stepped out of the pharmacy, carrying a small white bag with her mother's medicine. She had come quietly, hoping the drugs would help her mother rest better that night. As she walked past the parked cars, she happened to overhear Jeff's last words, I wish I could find a maid today. Her heart skipped a beat. Jeff's words hung in the air, I wish I could find a maid today. Angela froze. Her eyes widened. She recognized him immediately, the same man she had seen at the big house gate the day Mabel had chased her out. Her heart raced. Should she speak? Should she pretend she didn't hear anything? Or should she quietly walk away? After a brief pause, she took a deep breath, gathered her courage, and stepped closer. Sir, excuse me, please, she said softly. Jeff turned to face her. Their eyes met. There was something familiar about her, though he couldn't place it yet. Angela quickly added, I'm so sorry, sir. I wasn't trying to listen to your call. I overheard a little because you were standing outside. Please forgive me. Jeff gave a small nod. It's okay. No problem. Angela swallowed nervously, then spoke again, her voice steady despite her fear. Sir. I heard you say you need someone to take care of your father. I can do the job. Jeff blinked, surprised. You mean that? Yes, sir, Angela said softly. I take care of my mother alone. She is sick. I've learned a lot about caring for the elderly. I know how to give medicine, help with meals, and make sure someone is safe and comfortable. I can help them sit, feed them, and watch over them carefully, Angela said earnestly. I can take care of your father. Jeff studied her closely. Her face was calm, her eyes clear and honest. There was a sincerity in her that he couldn't ignore. You're sure you can really take care of an elderly man? He asked again, needing to be certain. Yes, sir, Angela replied firmly. I can. I've cared for my mother, who is sick. I know what it takes. I'm not afraid of the work. Jeff felt a wave of relief. This is good, very good. He hesitated for a moment, then asked, Can you start today? I mean, right now. Angela shook her head gently. No, sir. I can't start immediately. I need to go home first. I bought medicine for my mother, and I have to give it to her and explain where I'll be. Jeff sighed, understanding but slightly disappointed. Okay, that makes sense. No problem. Angela nodded gratefully. Thank you, sir. Jeff paused, thinking quickly, then spoke decisively. Give me your home address. My driver will come tomorrow morning to pick you up. Angela's eyes widened in surprise. Really, sir? Yes, Jeff said firmly, nodding. Be ready by morning. Good. I need someone urgently. You may be the answer I've been praying for, Jeff said. Angela smiled shyly, her heart lifting with relief and gratitude. Thank you so much, sir. I'll write the address. She pulled a small pen from her purse and carefully wrote down the address on a clean sheet of paper. Jeff took it gently. All right. Tomorrow morning, he said. Yes, sir, Angela replied quietly. Jeff got into his car and drove away. Angela stood for a moment, holding her mother's medicine against her chest. She tilted her face toward the sky, a soft smile spreading across her lips. Mama, maybe our miracle has finally come, she whispered. She hurried home with the medicine and stepped into the small room she shared with her mother. Mama lay on the bed, looking tired but awake. Mama, I'm back, Angela said softly, smiling. Her mother slowly sat up. My daughter, welcome. Did you get the medicine? Yes, Mama, Angela replied, handing over the small white bag. But Mama, something happened today. Her mother's eyes widened with concern. What is it? Angela sat down beside her, her hands trembling slightly with excitement and hope. Angela sat beside her mother, holding her hands tightly. Mama, I got a job. A real job. Her mother's eyes widened in surprise and joy. My daughter. God has done it. But, who will look after me while you're away? Angela squeezed her mother's hand reassuringly. Mama, don't worry. I already spoke to Auntie Joy. She agreed to check on you while I'm at work. She'll come in the morning and stay with you until I return. Her mother let out a relieved sigh. God bless that woman, and God bless you, my child. Angela hugged her gently. Mama, things will change now. I promise. The next morning, Angela arrived at Jeff's mansion, wearing her knitter's gown. Her heart pounded with a mixture of nerves and hope. Before she could even reach the door, it swung open, and Mabel appeared. The moment she saw Angela, her eyes flared with anger. You again? Mabel shouted. What are you doing here? Angela froze, unsure how to respond. At that exact moment, Jeff stepped into the living room. Mabel, what's going on? He asked calmly, but firmly. Mabel pointed at Angela. Baby, don't you recognize this girl? She's the same one who came for an interview the other day. The other day, Mabel said sharply, she came late. She's not suitable for this job. Jeff looked at Angela, surprised. You know her? Mabel raised her voice. Yes, she came before. I told her we didn't need her. Jeff's expression hardened. Mabel, enough. I've already employed her. Mabel gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. What? Jeff. Why? He interrupted calmly, yet firmly. She's qualified, and we need someone immediately. I don't have time to waste, I leave tomorrow. But, baby, Mabel tried again. Jeff shook his head, resolute. I'm sorry, Mabel. The decision is final. She will work here. She will come in the morning and leave in the evening. That is the arrangement. Angela stood quietly, her heart pounding. Mabel stared at Jeff in disbelief, then turned her furious gaze toward Angela. This is unbelievable. Jeff ignored her and turned back to Angela. Welcome. Come inside. Angela stepped forward slowly, her mind racing, knowing her life was about to change, even if someone in that house wasn't happy about it. Jeff led her down the corridor to Papa James' room. Angela's eyes widened in surprise when she saw. Angela gazed at Papa James silently, not knowing where to start. He looked back at her but didn't recognize her at all. Jeff's voice broke the moment. Angela, your salary will be 500,000 naira per month. Angela's eyes widened. Jesus, sir. That's too much. I've never even seen that kind of money in my life. Jeff smiled warmly. Normally, I pay my staff 300,000, but you told me about your sick mother, so I increased it. Use it to take care of her. Angela felt tears prick her eyes. She was overwhelmed with gratitude. After Jeff left the room, Angela turned to Papa James gently. Papa, don't you remember me? It's Angela, your daughter. Papa, it's me. Papa James shook his head softly. I'm hungry. Please, get me something to eat. Angela nodded immediately. Okay, Papa, she said, rushing to the kitchen. She began preparing a meal, her hands moving quickly but carefully. Just then, Mabel stormed in, her voice sharp. Oh, wow. Really? Already making yourself at home? How dare you enter my kitchen without my permission? Angela lowered her head respectfully. I'm sorry, Ma, she said calmly. My employer showed me the kitchen himself. He said I could go wherever my work requires. Mabel hissed sharply. Oh, really? Jeff is really testing my patience today. She stormed out of the kitchen and went straight to Jeff, her voice rising. How dare you embarrass me in front of a maid? That girl is all over my kitchen. You even told her she could enter anywhere she likes. Jeff, how dare you disrespect me like this? Jeff looked at her calmly, unshaken. Mabel, she's simply doing the job she was hired to do. Someone is finally taking responsibility in this house, something you've refused to do. Mabel's eyes widened. Jeff, did you just call me lazy? Jeff replied without hesitation, if the description fits. Mabel snapped angrily, her voice shaking. I will make sure that girl doesn't last in this house. Jeff stepped closer, his voice firm and cold. You won't dare. If you try anything against Angela, you'll see a side of me you won't like. Mabel froze, anger and embarrassment flashing across her face. Meanwhile, unaware of the tension growing around her, Angela continued cooking quietly for Papa James, focused only on caring for him, while a storm slowly gathered within the house. That evening, Angela returned home with a wide, happy smile. The moment she stepped into the small room, her mother sat up slowly. My daughter, welcome. How was your first day? Her mother asked, her eyes filled with curiosity. Angela sat beside her, her excitement bubbling over. Mama, it was amazing. Her mother raised an eyebrow. Amazing. Tell me more. Mama, guess what? My salary is 500,000 naira every month. Her mother's hands flew to her mouth in shock. 500,000. Angela, are you serious? Angela nodded eagerly. Yes, Mama. 500,000. Sir Jeff is so kind. He even added extra because of you. Her mother wiped tears from her eyes. God will bless the young man, truly. Angela's eyes sparkled as she continued. Mama, do you remember the old man I told you about? The one I gave my last money to. Her mother nodded slowly, puzzled. Angela grinned. Mama, can you believe it? He's my boss's father, the same Papa. I couldn't believe it when I saw him. Her mother's eyes widened in amazement. God works in mysterious ways, my daughter. Angela gently held her mother's hand. Mama, with this salary, we can finally save for your surgery. Don't worry anymore, things are going to get better for us. Don't worry, Mama, Angela said softly, holding her mother's hands. You'll be fine soon. I'll work hard, and I won't waste anything. Her mother nodded slowly, tears sliding down her cheeks. My child, you are truly my blessing. Angela sighed. Mama, my boss is very kind. He talks gently and respects me. But the only problem is his girlfriend. That woman doesn't like me at all. Today, she shouted at me just for entering the kitchen, even though Jeff told me I could. Her mother frowned. My daughter, be careful around her. Some people dislike others for no reason. I know, Mama, Angela said with determination. But I'll ignore her. I'm there to work, not to fight. As long as I can take care of Papa and earn my pay, I will endure. Her mother gave a weak, reassuring smile. God will protect you. Just focus on your work. The next morning, Angela arrived at the mansion bright and early. As she approached the gate, the security guard quickly stood up. Auntie Angela. Good morning. The boss just left a few minutes ago, he's already traveled. Please hurry inside to see Papa. I heard the wicked madam shouting again. Angela's heart sank slightly, but she squared her shoulders. She knew one thing for certain, she was ready to face anything for her work and for Papa James. Angela thanked the guard quickly and rushed inside. The moment she stepped into the sitting room, she heard Mabel's loud, sharp voice. She moved quietly toward Papa James' room and froze at the doorway. Mabel was shouting at him, her hands on her hips, face red with anger. Papa, please, don't shout, he said weakly, his voice trembling. You're stressing me. Mabel snapped. Every morning you're calling my name. Am I your servant? Why can't you just sit still in one place? Angela clenched her fist, her anger simmering, but she stayed silent. She didn't want to start trouble, especially now that Jeff had already traveled. When Mabel finally stormed out, slamming the door behind her, Angela stepped gently toward Papa James. Good morning, Papa, she said softly. He looked up slowly, relief in his tired eyes. My child, thank you. That woman, she is not good to me. Angela sat beside him. Papa, don't worry. I'm here now. Papa James studied her face carefully. Your face looks familiar. Have we met before? Angela smiled gently. Yes, Papa. I'm the girl who gave you money that morning, the day you were sitting by the road. Papa frowned, confusion clouding his eyes. I don't remember. It's my head, it forgets things, Papa James said, rubbing his temples. It's okay, Papa, Angela said gently. Don't stress yourself. She helped him eat slowly, bringing each bite carefully to his lips. Once he finished, he held her hand, his eyes softening. My child, don't go home tonight. Stay here. Mabel, she isn't good to me. Angela felt a tug at her heart, but she shook her head softly. Papa, I'm sorry. I can't stay tonight. I can't leave my mother alone, she's sick and needs me. Papa nodded slowly, disappointment mixed with understanding. Okay. But please, come early tomorrow. I feel safe when you're here. I promise, Papa, Angela said with a small smile. I'll come very early. Don't worry. Papa squeezed her hand warmly. God bless you, my child. Angela stayed a little longer, tidying the room and making sure everything was in order. Before leaving, she checked on him once more, giving him a reassuring smile, then stepped out quietly. Outside, the security guard leaned close and whispered, Auntie Angela, stay strong. That woman is trouble. Angela sighed but squared her shoulders. I know, but I'll manage. She walked home thoughtfully, her mind racing, but one thing was clear, she wasn't going to let anyone push her away from her purpose, her work, or from helping Papa James. That was helping her mother. That night, Jeff called from abroad. The video call rang loudly in the living room. Mabel rushed to pick it up, quickly fixing her face into a sweet smile. Baby, Jeff said on the screen, looking tired. How is my father? Mabel rolled her eyes briefly before replying, her voice suddenly soft. He's fine. Then her tone changed. But Jeff, we need to fire that Angela girl. Jeff frowned. Fire her? Why? I don't like her, Mabel snapped. She's forming holy saint in this house, walking around like she owns the place. Mabel, stop it, Jeff said firmly. She's taking good care of my father. That's all that matters. Mabel hissed. Please, Jeff. I don't trust her. Fire her. Jeff's voice hardened. No. Not now. Maybe never. She's doing her job well. Mabel froze. So you're choosing her over me? Jeff rubbed his forehead, exhausted. Mabel, stop turning everything into a fight. I'm tired. I have work to do. Good night. Whatever. Mabel shouted and ended the call before he could say another word. She threw the phone onto the couch and paced angrily around the room. Rage burned in her eyes as she muttered under her breath, if only this old man wasn't here, then I would finally have peace. She stopped suddenly, her face dark with resentment. Unknown to her, while she was filled with bitterness, Angela was at home kneeling beside her mother, praying softly, unaware that her kindness had already made her an enemy in the same house where she was fighting for survival. And slowly, silently, destiny was beginning to choose sides. Mabel muttered to herself bitterly, I don't like men whose parents are still alive. Old people stress me too much. The next morning, Angela didn't arrive at the mansion on time. The security guard waited at the gate, anxious, but she never appeared. Inside the house, Mabel's lips curled into a smug smile. Good. Maybe she's finally run away. But the truth was far different. Angela was at the hospital with her mother. During the night, her mother had collapsed, her breathing fast and shallow, her body soaked in sweat. Angela had rushed her to the emergency ward, tears streaming down her face as she prayed silently. After running several tests, the doctor stepped aside with Angela. Your mother needs urgent surgery, he said gently but firmly. Her condition is very serious. Without the operation, she may not survive the next week. Angela's hands began to tremble. Doctor, how much will the surgery cost? The doctor's expression was somber. 5 million naira. We need to begin preparations immediately. Angela felt her words stop. 5 million, she whispered, her voice barely audible. Doctor, where will I get that kind of money? I don't have it. Her heart pounded, and her mind raced. Everything she had worked for, every step she had taken for her mother, suddenly felt so fragile. I don't have it. I don't have anything, Angela whispered, her voice trembling. The doctor placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. I know it's difficult, Angela, but your mother's life depends on this surgery. Please, try. Time is very short. Angela walked out of the office slowly, her tears falling freely. She sank onto a cold hospital bench and buried her face in her hands. God, please help me, she murmured, her voice cracking. Where will I get 5 million naira? Mama cannot die, please, show me a way. Her heart felt crushed. The small salary she had just started earning was nowhere near enough. She felt lost, terrified, and weak, as if the whole world were collapsing around her. By the time she reached home, her eyes were swollen from crying. The moment she stepped inside, Mabel leapt from the sofa, her voice sharp and harsh. So, this is when you decide to show up. Is this your idea of coming to work on time? Angela took a deep breath, trying to speak calmly. Ma, I'm sorry. My mother is very sick. I had to take her to the hospital. Mabel cut her off immediately, her voice dripping with irritation. And, is that my problem? I have important things to do, you know. Angela's fist clenched at her sides, but she remained silent. She couldn't fight now, not with her mother's life on the line. I have somewhere to go. Your mother can go and join your poor, lazy father in hell for all I care. Mabel shouted, her words sharp as knives. Angela's heart sank, but she stayed silent. She couldn't fight, she needed this job. She walked straight to Papa James' room. "Papa, have you eaten?" she asked softly. Papa shook his head. "No, my child. I will never eat food cooked by that devil." Angela forced a sad smile. She knelt beside him. "It's okay, Papa. I'll serve you." She helped him eat carefully, arranging his pillows afterward. "Papa, I'll be back in an hour, okay? Please take care of yourself for me. And if that woman speaks to you, don't answer. Don't let her bother you." Papa nodded gently. "Okay, my child. Go well." Angela hurried out and rushed to the hospital. The moment she reached the reception, the doctor called her urgently, his voice brimming with excitement. "Angela. Good news. We've already prepared your mother for surgery, she's going in soon." Angela froze, panic rising. "Doctor, but I haven't paid." I don't have the money." Angela's hands shook as she whispered, I don't have the money." The doctor gave her a warm, reassuring smile. "Angela, don't worry. An anonymous person has already paid everything, every single naira. All 5 million naira. The surgery is fully covered." Angela's eyes widened, and she covered her mouth in shock. "What? Someone paid. Doctor, who is it?" The doctor shook his head gently. "They want to remain unknown." Tears poured down Angela's face, tears of relief and pure joy. "Thank you, God, thank you. So kind people still exist. Thank you, Jesus." Her legs gave way, and she sank to her knees in the hospital corridor, crying and praising God from the depths of her heart. Later that day, Angela returned to work, her heart still racing from the miraculous turn of events. Her mother's surgery had been successful, and though her spirit was lighter, her body was exhausted from the crying, praying, and rushing around the hospital. She stepped quietly into the mansion compound, hoping for a peaceful afternoon. But the moment she entered the sitting room, her heart sank. Mabel was there, standing over Papa James, shouting, her hands flailing like a storm. Papa James looked confused and distressed, trying to calm her, but Mabel's voice rang sharp and cruel. Angela's fist clenched, but she took a deep breath. Today, she promised herself, she would not let anyone harm Papa James, not Mabel, not anyone. Papa James looked broken. His shoulders were slumped, his eyes fixed on the floor, trembling like a child who had been shouted at for too long. Fear and sadness were written all over his face. Something snapped inside Angela. The anger rose slowly in her chest, then burned fiercely. She stepped forward and placed herself firmly between Papa James and Mabel. "Madam," Angela said, her voice shaking but strong, "with all due respect, please stop this. I have kept quiet for too long because I didn't want trouble or to lose my job. But today, I've had enough. Leave him alone." Mabel stared at her like she couldn't believe what she was hearing. "How dare you?" she scoffed. "You think you can talk to me like that? You are nothing. A useless, poor girl. I will deal with you today." She lifted her hand to strike. But Angela was faster. She caught Mabel's wrist mid-air and pushed it away firmly. Mabel screamed in shock as she stumbled backward. "Don't ever raise your hand at me again," Angela said, her voice low but fierce. "And never touch him again." Mabel lost her balance and staggered back, shocked and humiliated. Angela stood her ground, breathing hard, her eyes blazing, not with cruelty, but with protection. Papa James stared at Angela in disbelief, tears forming in his eyes. For the first time in a long while, someone had stood up for him. The room fell silent, heavy, tense, and trembling. Angela pushed her back firmly, twisting away from her grip. All the strength came from the pain of watching Papa James being bullied day after day. Mabel screamed loudly, panicking. Her wig shifted, her earrings dropped to the floor as she cried out, "Leave me. Leave me alone. Somebody help me." Papa James, shaking but excited, clapped his hands weakly. "Yes. Stand up for yourself, my daughter. Teach her a lesson. Don't let her bully anyone again." Angela finally stepped back and released her. Mabel scrambled to her feet, terrified and humiliated. She ran into the house screaming, "Help! There is a monster in this house. Someone save me." She rushed into her room, slammed the door, and grabbed her phone with trembling hands. She quickly dialed Jeff, crying loudly and forcing her voice to sound weak and broken. Baby, please come back home," she sobbed. "That girl you hired is not who you think she is. She's dangerous. She attacked me for no reason. I didn't do anything to her. She nearly finished me. My whole body is hurting." On the other end of the line, Jeff sighed deeply, sounding exhausted. "Mabel, what happened this time?" Mabel quickly raised her voice, trying to sound innocent. "I swear, Jeff, I did nothing. I was just talking, and she suddenly attacked me." "Jeff, absolutely nothing. I was just talking to your father, being polite, and she came out of nowhere and attacked me." Mabel cried, her voice high and frantic. Jeff sighed deeply. "Mabel, please, just calm down and mind your own business. I don't see Angela as a violent person. She doesn't look like someone who would fight unless she was provoked." "What?" Mabel shrieked. "So you don't believe me? You're defending her again, Jeff. Are you choosing her over me?" "Mabel," Jeff said softly but firmly, "stop exaggerating. I'll talk to you later. Please, don't start trouble." He ended the call. Angela clenched her fist tightly, her anger still simmering. She looked at Papa James. "Papa, that woman has no respect." Papa James nodded slowly, his eyes shining. "Thank God you stood up to her, my daughter. She needed someone to teach her a lesson. I feel so much better now that you're here." Angela's lips curved into a small, satisfied smile. The anger inside her melted, replaced by relief. Papa noticed her expression and asked gently, "Why are you smiling, my child? Your eyes are so bright." Angela took a deep breath. "Papa, I got good news today. Really good news." "What happened?" Papa asked, curious. Angela's smile widened, full of hope and excitement, as she prepared to share the miracle that had changed everything. Angela's smile grew wider. "Papa, my mother's surgery was done today. Everything went well," she said softly. "And someone, an anonymous person, paid all the hospital bills. All 5 million naira. The doctor said everything had been settled." Papa James gasped and straightened up immediately. "What?" he exclaimed. "Someone paid everything. And you didn't tell me your mother needed surgery?" Angela lowered her gaze. "Papa, I didn't want to disturb you. You already have your own health challenges. I didn't want to add to your worries." Papa James frowned, his voice filled with emotion, not anger. "No, my child. You should have told me. Even if I had little, I would have helped in my own way. You shouldn't carry such heavy burdens alone." Angela shook her head gently. "It's okay now, Papa. God used someone to help me. I'm just thankful my mother survived." Papa James held her hand tightly. "My child, you have a good heart. That's why blessings keep finding you. Kindness never goes unrewarded." Angela smiled warmly. "Thank you, Papa." Papa James nodded slowly, then his face became serious. "But be careful in this house. That woman is dangerous. Her tongue is sharp, and her heart is cold. People like that don't like seeing goodness around them. Angela squeezed his hand reassuringly. Don't worry, Papa. As long as I'm here, no one will hurt you. I promise. Papa James looked at her with deep gratitude, a sense of peace settling in his eyes. For the first time in a long while, he felt protected. Papa James shook his head slowly. That woman's heart is bad. Don't let her push you into trouble again. Angela smiled softly. Papa, I'll try, but today, I couldn't hold it anymore. Papa let out a weak laugh. Good. You showed her you're not a toy. Angela laughed too, and for a brief moment, the heaviness of the day lifted from her shoulders. The rest of the evening passed quietly. Mabel stayed in her room, nursing her pride and humiliation, while Angela remained with Papa James, speaking gently and keeping him company. She gave him his medicine, helped him change into his night clothes, and placed a warm blanket over his legs. Before leaving, Papa held her hand and whispered, My child, thank you. You make this house feel like a home. Angela's heart warmed. Good night, Papa, she said softly. She then moved to the kitchen, washing the dishes and humming a soft tune. A sense of peace filled her chest, the first real peace she had felt all day. Quietly, she whispered, Thank you, God, for saving Mama, for giving me strength, for everything. A week later, the house had settled into calm. Angela sat beside Papa James in his room, folding his clothes and smiling as they shared quiet conversation. Life was finally beginning to feel steady, safe, and full of hope. Angela was folding Papa James' clean clothes and arranging his cupboard. Papa watched her with soft, grateful eyes, as if she were the only light in the house. Angela smiled. Papa, I'll be going to the hospital this evening. The doctor said Mama will be discharged today, and I'll bring her home. Papa nodded gently. Good, my child. Your mother should rest well. I will, Papa. She will, Angela replied warmly, her heart swelling with relief. Just then, a knock came at the front door. Angela excused herself. Papa, let me check, she said, walking over, expecting the security man or a delivery. But the moment she opened the door, she froze. Her mouth fell open. Mama. Her mother stood there, smiling, looking healthier than Angela had seen in months. She was dressed neatly in fresh clothes, clean and bright, and her eyes sparkled with warmth. Angela couldn't speak at first. She just stared, shocked and overwhelmed. Mama, how are you here? You're supposed to be in the hospital waiting for me to come pick you up. Mama, how? Her mother stepped inside slowly, her hand reaching out gently. My daughter, calm down. I'm home now. Everything is okay. Don't be afraid. It's time for us to be together. Angela's tears welled up as she ran forward and hugged her mother tightly. Relief, gratitude, and joy all poured out at once. I'm fine, my child, Mama said softly. Angela, something amazing happened. Angela held her mother's hands tightly, still shaken. Mama, you're scaring me. What happened? Her mother smiled, tears sparkling in her eyes. Your boss. Mr. Jeff, he sent someone to the hospital. He said he didn't want me to go back to that old, stressful place. He said the environment could make me sick again. So, he arranged for me to stay here in the guest room with you. Angela's hands flew to her mouth. Mama, what? Sir Jeff did all that? Her mother nodded. Yes, my daughter. The man he sent said your boss didn't want you to have to take care of both your father and your mother in two different places. He said you should stay here with Mama, so you can rest and still walk. Angela's legs almost gave way. She gripped the nearest chair for support. Mama, this is too much. I can't believe it. How did he even know you'd be discharged today? How? Her mother shrugged, smiling gently. Maybe the hospital told him. Maybe he asked. I don't know. But Angela, all I know is that God is working in ways we cannot see. Angela's tears fell freely. Gratitude, relief, and all mixed together. She hugged her mother tightly. Mama, this is too wonderful. Truly, too wonderful. I don't know, Mama said softly, but he sent a car to bring me here. Angela hugged her mother tightly, tears streaming down her face. Mama. God is good. God is really good. She took her mother's arm and hurried her inside. Come, Mama, come in. Let me show you the guest room. Her mother smiled warmly, walking beside her. My daughter, your boss is a good young man. Angela wiped her tears. Mama, he is too good. Such kindness. I never imagined it. After settling her mother comfortably, Angela returned to Papa James's room, her face glowing with joy. She held his hands like a child showing off a prize. Papa, Papa. You won't believe it, my mother is here. Jeff sent someone to bring her from the hospital. He said she should stay here. Papa, please thank your son for me. He is too kind. Papa smiled slowly, his eyes soft and warm. Angela, my daughter, your boss is good. But you are a good girl. That is why goodness follows you. Angela's eyes widened. Papa, you remembered my name. You called me Angela. Papa's smile grew wider. Yes, my child. I remember now. The name, your name, it is Angela. My blessing, my daughter. Angela's heart was light as she helped Papa James drink his medicine and prepare tea for him and her mother. For the first time in so long, it felt like her life was finally rising after all the struggles. But peace never lasted long with Mabel in the house. That evening, Mabel returned home with her usual flair and arrogance. The moment she stepped inside, she sensed the change. Someone was in the guest room. She heard Angela humming softly in the kitchen. Mabel stormed in, her arms crossed tightly. So, it's true, she said sharply. Jeff values you so much. He explained everything to me already. Angela didn't turn, continuing to arrange plates with a calm smile. Good evening, Ma, she said politely. Mabel hissed, her voice dripping with irritation. Keep your greetings to yourself. I'm not here to be polite. I'm here to tell you what I found out. Angela paused but remained composed, continuing her walk. Jeff said, you and your lazy mother are staying in the guest room now because he asked for it. Mabel spat the words, trying to sting. Angela turned to her slowly, eyes steady and serene. Yes, Ma. He asked. And I'm grateful. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have tea to prepare for my parents. Mabel froze, momentarily speechless, realizing that no amount of shouting or anger could shake Angela's calm determination. But let me tell you something, Mabel added coldly. You and your mother used charms on him. Angela slowly turned her head. What did you just say? Mabel smirked, enjoying the moment. Yes. Juju. Black magic. That's how you poor village girls behave, pretending to be innocent while manipulating people. Angela stepped closer. Her face hardened, but her voice dropped into a calm, steady tone that carried danger. Madam, she said quietly, be very careful with the words coming out of your mouth. Mabel laughed nervously. Or what? Angela leaned in slightly. If you mention my mother again, if you lie about me one more time. I promise you, what happened before will happen again, right here, right now. Mabel froze and instinctively stepped back. You want to fight me again, she stammered. Angela gave a small, controlled smile. Try me. That was enough. Mabel turned and rushed out of the kitchen in panic, nearly tripping over a chair as she fled. Under her breath, she muttered, "There is something scary about that girl." In his room, Papa James laughed softly to himself, shaking his head with admiration. "That Angela," he murmured. "She is fire. That woman will never trouble her again." Angela stood quietly in the kitchen, breathing deeply, steadying herself, not angry, not afraid, just determined to protect her peace and the people she loved. Angela smiled softly as she returned to her cooking. Her mother was safe. Papa James was happy. Jeff's kindness had opened a door she never expected, but she didn't yet know how much bigger her life was about to get. Something deeper, something destined, was just beginning. And very soon, the mystery of the person who paid her mother's hospital bills would reveal itself in the most unbelievable way. Meanwhile, Jeff returned to the country earlier than expected, keeping his arrival a secret from everyone, including Mabel. On his way from the airport, he received a call that made his heart tighten. "Jeff. I didn't want to tell you before, but I have to now," whispered his friend. "I just saw Mabel at a hotel, with another man. They were too close. I think something's going on." Jeff felt a cold knot form in his chest. He said nothing at first, his jaw tight. Finally, he spoke quietly. "Text me the hotel address." Without hesitation, he changed direction, driving straight there. He didn't go inside. He stayed in his car, heart pounding, watching, waiting, his mind racing. The truth was about to hit, and Jeff knew things would never be the same. Jeff's chest tightened, anger and disappointment weighing heavily on him. He stayed in his car, watching, waiting. A few minutes later, the hotel door opened. Mabel stepped out, laughing loudly, fixing her hair. Behind her, a man held her waist, whispering something in her ear. They looked comfortable, like they belonged together. Mabel lifted her head, still smiling, but the smile froze the moment she saw him. Her heart skipped, her legs trembled. "Jeff. I can explain," she stammered. Jeff didn't say a word. Calmly, almost eerily, he opened his car door, slid in, and drove off. Mabel stood there, frozen, humiliated. The man beside her bolted, leaving her alone in front of hotel staff. She grabbed a taxi, tears streaming down her face, her pride shattered. When she arrived at Jeff's house, the compound was silent. She rushed to the door, then stopped. Her bags were outside the gate. Jeff stepped out slowly, his expression calm, too calm. That calm was more frightening than any anger she had ever seen. Mabel's breath caught. Fear and panic coursed through her as she realized the game was over. Mabel was shaking, tears streaming down her face. Baby, please. I can explain." "It's not what you think," she pleaded. Jeff raised a hand slightly, calm but firm. "Stop lying. I'm done listening to you." Mabel wiped her tears desperately. "Jeff, please don't do this to me. I love you." "You don't," Jeff said quietly, his voice steady but cold. "You never loved me." "I know everything, Mabel." Her body froze, fear rooting her to the spot. Jeff continued, voice low, patient, but edged with hurt. "I know what you say behind my back. Calling me a fool, planning to take my money and leave me stranded. My friends, my workers, even Papa heard you. Did you really think I was that stupid?" Mabel's legs trembled under her. "Jeff, please, let me explain." "No," he replied firmly. "It's too late. I warned you many times. You insulted my father, mistreated everyone in this house, chased away my staff. And even after all that, I still tried to believe in you." She sank to her knees. "Jeff, please. I'm sorry. I beg you." Jeff stepped back, his face calm, almost terrifying in its control. "Mabel, go. Leave my house. I'm not shouting. I'm not angry. I'm just done. Tears poured down Mabel's face as she scrambled to her feet, but she couldn't find the words. She had lost. Angela reached out, wanting to touch him, but Jeff gently moved away. She fell to her knees, holding his legs, tears streaming down her face. "Please, sir, don't do this," she begged, her voice cracking. But Jeff's mind was made up. "Mabel, stand up and go," he said quietly, yet firmly. "I won't change my mind." Mabel's eyes widened, disbelief and regret washing over her. In that moment, she realized she had lost a good man, lost a home, lost everything she had taken for granted. Slowly, she picked up her luggage, dragging it behind her as she stumbled out of the compound, sobbing loudly. She turned back one last time, hoping for a sign, a plea, anything from Jeff, but the gate clicked shut. Silence. Outside, the street swallowed her cries. She screamed at herself, at the world, at the choices she had made. Regret hit her like a hammer. Inside the house, Jeff exhaled deeply, the weight of months of frustration and anger finally lifting from his shoulders. He was free. That evening, Angela sat quietly in the living room, her heart still racing from the morning's events. Jeff entered the room and stopped in front of her, his expression serious yet gentle. He hesitated, then spoke softly, "Angela, I need to talk to you." She looked up, meeting his eyes. "Yes, sir." "What is it?" Jeff sat beside her, taking a deep breath. I want to confess everything. You deserve to know the truth." Filled her eyes. Her hands trembled inside Jeff's. For a moment, she couldn't speak. Her heart was beating so fast it felt like it would burst out of her chest. "Papa, Sir Jeff," her voice broke. "This is too much for me. I never imagined, never in my wildest dreams." Tears rolled freely down her cheeks. "I came into this house only to work, to save my mother. I didn't plan to love anyone. I didn't plan any of this." Papa James walked closer, his step slow but steady. He placed his hand gently on Angela's head like a blessing. "My daughter, sometimes God plans what we are too afraid to plan for ourselves. I watched you. I saw how you cared for me when even my own blood turned away. I saw your patience, your kindness, your strength. I prayed for a woman like you for my son." Jeff tightened his grip on her hands, his eyes shining. "Angela, I'm not asking you to decide out of pressure. I just need you to know my heart is yours. Whether you say yes today or tomorrow, I will wait." Angela took a deep breath, her chest rising and falling. She looked at Papa James, then at Jeff. She thought of her mother, of hunger, of tears, of prayers whispered in the dark. She remembered kneeling in the hospital corridor, begging God for help. And now, here she was. Slowly, she nodded. "Yes," she whispered. Jeff froze. "Yes," he asked, almost afraid to believe it. "Yes," Angela repeated, louder this time, smiling through her tears. "I will marry you." Papa James clapped his hands like a child, laughing with pure joy. "Oh, thank you, God. Thank you. My house will finally know peace." Jeff pulled Angela into a gentle embrace, careful, respectful, but full of emotion. "I promise you," he whispered into her hair, "I will protect you. I will honor you. I will never let you regret this decision." Angela closed her eyes against his chest, tears soaking his shirt. "I trust you," she said softly. From the doorway, Angela's mother watched silently, her hands covering her mouth as tears streamed down her face. She stepped forward slowly. "My daughter," she said, her voice shaking with happiness. "God has remembered us." Angela turned and rushed to her, hugging her tightly. "Mama, our suffering is over," she whispered. "God answered us." The house that once echoed with insults, pain, and cruelty was now filled with laughter, tears of joy, and hope. And somewhere in the quiet of his room, Papa James smiled to himself, knowing that love, patience, and a good heart had finally won.